what's going on with the car insurance. It's funny because I had a lot of friends, especially in New
You
York.
say
You know what I mean?
15% or more in car insurance?
Right now,
by
except for the
switching
fact
to that?
they're already charging you 26 to almost 30% a month. So that 15% is not enough. And I don't know where that 15% is coming from. But listen, we spent some time in New York. And I know that you never lived out there, but New York will give you a number of reasons to really question yourself for the necessity of having a car.
Mm-hmm.
Like not everybody is.
Is car insurance one of them?
Car insurance was always, except for, the fact that in New York, again, there's different ways to insure a car, right? And so there is the legal way.
Yes. New York has
There
a
is
lot of
the not properly registered way.
Mm-hmm.
There is the illegal way. New York is very special, you know what I mean? And so in many ways, but I'm talking more about the concept of public transportation.
Yeah, you don't need
know what I mean? In some areas you really don't, you know what I mean? And some people also will make it a business to say, I work here, my house is gonna be here. I'm just gonna walk to work and not taking anything, not even public. So those are literally accommodations. When you come to the state of Florida, you realize I gotta have a car. There's no, you know what I mean? Public transportation
everything is
is not
30
that
minutes
effective.
away.
Exactly. And if you take the bus anywhere, more than likely
It'll take you
you're
a
gonna
day to
show
get
up
there.
the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, but for the first time, you have a lot of people that are considering not having a car or reducing the amount of cars in the family, just because the way car insurance is going up. What do you know about this, guys? What's happening here? Because this is a big deal right now. Like everywhere, we're talking about increases of 26%.
Yeah, yeah.
So imagine you paying $2,000 per se. That means that you're adding almost another $600 to that, and that's a lot of money. You know what I mean, to take off the table. And so the question is,
Especially
why
when
is this
eggs are
taking place
expensive.
in light of, just so that you know, remember, in light of the fact that during the days of COVID, right, there was less people driving, less people moving around. You actually have some car insurance companies sending like rebates. I don't know if that was your experience, but
No.
some people are saying, I know, I'm saying, hey, how come
Like, where's my
I
rebate?
didn't get any money
Yeah.
back?
From
But
2020. I didn't drive my car.
some people did, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
Well,
because at the end of the day, the companies, the margin of profitability is
Yeah.
never that high. But people think that they're killing it. The cost of doing, they doing well when they can keep the cost of doing business at 93%. That's between, so that 7% is almost the only margin of profitability. Which actually has been happening since 2002, almost at the end of 2001, 102, 107, 122%, meaning between the claims that they are paying out. So it's a little bit of a phenomenon, you know what I mean? And they still raising prices. There's more accidents taking place, but I don't know exactly what's triggering the phenomenon. But how do you see
I can
it?
tell you.
I know.
Yeah, go ahead. Is that what it is?
Of course, there's a bunch of cell phones driving around.
No, I don't
people
think so.
do-
But I mean, that's possible, but I think
Are
it's something
you
else.
kidding me?
You mean more people distracted with the cell
Of
phones and running
course.
into
It's a
yeah.
lot of people that is like, I can't get
Yeah,
off.
I've been
I
through
gotta get
I-4
the
and the
hit,
ladies
and
like
it's
looking down. You know what I mean?
Stare
Not
at
even
people.
looking at like
I've
staring
seen
at-
people looking at shows, like watching straight up shows while
While they're
driving.
I was in an Uber the other day, and yeah, the Uber driver was watching a whole movie on his phone while he was driving.
was driving, eating popcorn,
I was
and
like, I don't
Ubering.
think this is. No, I mean, I was in the back seat, so I was like, yeah, this is probably not safe. But
No,
made it.
I blew the horn, the
Yeah.
horn on that lady. Like
Yeah.
I'm driving and I'm looking at her, and for a specific amount of time, she
Yeah.
never looked up.
Yeah.
And that would have been enough for just a little turn, a
Mhm.
little something, or,
Yeah.
or just I mean, and it was not a Tesla, I promise you.
Yeah, it
You
wasn't
know what I
driving
mean?
itself,
And
yeah.
so I blew the horn just to say, hey, you know what I mean? It's like, stop
Yeah.
it. What are you doing? So yeah, cell phones is a reason, but I don't think
Yeah.
that's the only
No,
reason.
I think one of the biggest reasons is the largest insurance, not the largest lawyers in the country. You know, so people like Morgan and Morgan, all these other so now it's like it's guaranteed if you get into almost any accident and it's not your fault, we're gonna sue the insurance companies like crazy. So like this, like scamming has gone through the roof. I think to where now hey, like you almost want to
They
get
call
in an
them, what,
accident.
ambulance chasers?
I don't know what they call
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
No,
but
that's-
you almost. I've even had. I don't want to talk about it, but I know people who like they'll set these things up where it's like, hey, there's gonna be an accident. You want to be in the car? Do you get what I'm saying? Because they know where, hey, if I'm in a car accident, guaranteed everybody who's in that car is getting
No, but in
10,000
Miami,
minimum.
that was an issue for a
Yeah.
long time. Like they were
No, no,
like
no, no.
cracking
You
you.
just said that there's going like this is like the Iran-Israel surprise bombing. Like, what do you mean there's going to be an accident?
Yes, there's gonna be an accident.
What is the
Do you wanna be a
benefit?
part
Do you want to
of
be a
it?
part of it? Yeah.
What
yeah,
is
yeah.
the benefit of being in the car?
You be-
Oh,
as a
because
passenger?
now you're gonna be a part of the claim. Where as long as you don't mind going through physical therapy, minimum you're getting $10,000, and the lawyers are so good, it's guaranteed almost. Yeah. So
Yeah, but when you see the
Wow.
Dan Newlands and you see the Morgans and Morgan, but,
Yeah.
but this
It's
guy
like
goes
right
around.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by the way, in this building,
Two.
almost I would
Yeah,
say
2 floors.
2 floors of this
Yeah.
building
it's all
happens to be just
Yeah.
from this
like
specific
think of
law
like
firm.
if you like people if you're not in Florida you might not see it, but in Florida when you drive around, I would say a good 50% of the billboards
That's
are all injury lawyers, accident lawyers. Yeah, just like-
1,000%.
Yeah, so I think they are
Used to be
hurting.
realtors. Used
Yeah.
to be realtors. Now it's all
yeah.
lawyers. you know
So
what
I feel like they're are the ones who's creating
Realtors are on TikTok now.
yeah, they're creating a situation where a lot of these insurance companies they're cutting into their profits because now you're paying out way more claims than you used to back in the days because now it's so easy. Hey, all I gotta do is call this number, guaranteed. I know if I was in an accident, it wasn't my fault.
For
I'm
one
getting money.
pain.
There you go, commercial.
The problem with this though is that if we don't get a handle, if they don't cap it at some point, because you've seen some terrible injuries at some
Yeah.
point, and some people do need some help.
No,
Like you're
absolutely.
saying, there's
Absolutely.
actually
There are some people that
there's
are
actually a lot of
liable.
games being
Yeah.
played out there with a lot of people will intentionally create these scenarios, people
Yeah.
that will almost force you to run into them, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, just to make sure that, again, to blame you or to, in the state of Florida, which is a no-fault state, regardless of who hits whom, you have the ability to make a claim.
Yeah.
And so the worst part about that though is that people don't even realize that, yeah, I'm gonna go for my $1 million,
Yeah.
but at the end, everybody's gonna pay for that.
Oh yeah, and then that's why
So,
everybody.
so the
insurance is
guy who
gonna go
never
up.
had an
Yep.
accident, who's looking at, what do you mean 26%?
Yes.
I have a perfect driver. I never got a ticket, never
Yeah.
mind an accident.
Yeah.
Why am I paying that?
Yeah.
And so that's why there are companies that, Progressive is one of those companies. I'm not trying to promote anybody.
Yeah.
Who obviously is really keeping an eye on driving record to see if they can give you a better price than what
Yeah.
the other person would be absolutely paying for it. But essentially, it's not so much that is part of it because that triggers the accident, and then it is the many lousy attorneys that you have out there that really are ambulance chasers.
Yeah.
Guys, I can't even tell you how many messages I get from people. Hey, do you know anyone who had an accident?
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Because even if you made a claim,
Correct. And
these guys are
they can get more.
marketers.
Yeah, yeah.
They are marketers,
Yeah.
but they can probably move you from that attorney, look into the case, and see if they can get you more money out of the case and transfer the case
Yeah.
from. Just think about that whole industry that has been created. The accident took
Yeah.
place. There are mechanics involved, meaning there are people that are going to be either fixing or at least going through the process of doing an assessment of the condition of the car.
Mm.
And then you talk about physical therapy. Yeah, there are
Mhm.
people who are like, what do you mean I got to go through 12 to... What
Yeah.
about the people that are saying, well, if you're okay with surgery, if you feel that this...
Mhm.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
an incredible
Yeah, 100%.
industry that has been set up all around the concept of accidents. And then
Yes.
you have people now showcasing either commercials or big billboards talking about, well, I had a bad accident. You know what I mean? I got hit by this 18-wheeler and the company only
Mhm.
wanted to give me, I don't know, whatever it was. And then Daniel came in and got me
$3
$2 million. And like, at some point this is
Yeah.
going to become a problem. Guess
Correct.
what?
It is.
It's a problem.
Yep.
I think that what's gonna have to happen, and what's gonna happen is some of these things. The state of Florida is already introducing a new set of laws